apart a little bit. There's lots of strong free going enough front runners here, and I was hoping that the pace might collapse a little bit. And him and Crystal Rock, I thought, were both quite interesting. Grandiloquent, an improving one. Miss Topsy Turvy from a yard that have turned the corner. Good little race.
It is indeed. Here's John.
Cheers, Angus. All set now. And they're off. The Hambleton Cup then is underway. And through the early stages of the contest, the one who was poorest away, Tapper Napper, looked half asleep in the gates and had to be shaken along, but is still in last place. Up front, it is Honest Deal who's coming through now together with Crystal Rock against the rail. And Crystal Rock leads past the judge first time from Honest Deal in second place. Then pulling hard in third, Mohawk Ridge. Choisin and the Grey, Granston round the outside. Grandiloquent is next towards the inner, racing then together with Party Line. So two obvious chances in the race, racing right near each other. And a third of them, Miss Topsy Turvy's not far away either. They turn then down the far side. Nice Rose is settled just worse than halfway with Roc de Prance, and then races full speed ahead of Royal Straight, and after Royal Straight, that slow starting Tapper Napper is still the back marker. Making their way then at the end of the first half mile in this Hambleton Cup. A mile left to run, just under that now, and the leader is now Honest Deal, who's come through from Granston, and Crystal Rock still there, although he surrendered the lead, now back in third place. Choisin comes next, and he's in turn followed by Mohawk Ridge, who is still not really fully settled. Then Party Line, who's racing right up on the outside of Grandiloquent. Grandiloquent's now just only ahead in front of Miss Topsy Turvy on the inside. Then Nice Rose. There's no movement from Royal Straight and Roc de Prance together with full speed at the back end of the field, and a length and a half away still last is Tapper Napper as they now turn out of the back straight. So racing back towards home with Honest Deal holding the narrow advantage ahead of Granston and Crystal Rock. Then Choisin, who's pushed along now. Choisin followed through by Mohawk Ridge. On the move round the outside is Party Line, the red jacket to watch out for. Grandiloquent still right there. Miss Topsy Turvy travelling strongly against the far side rail. Then Nice Rose tries to attack down the wide outside. There's a little gap then back to Roc de Prance as they now head for home. Down the wide outside we've got Party Line together with Choisin. They're then followed by Granston. The earlier leader Honest Deal has dropped away. Nice Rose is next. Grandiloquent's got an awful lot to do. Likewise Miss Topsy Turvy. Royal Straight's plugging on from the back end of the field, but this is Party Line who has shot into a clear lead here as they head up towards the line. Party Line is going to rout them in the Hambleton Cup. Matter of how far for Party Line? The answer to that's about 4 lengths. Second place tight between Choisin in the blue and white and the grey. Granston near side, and then in behind those came Nice Rose and further back to Crystal Rock.
Quick across the car double for Mark Johnson. Party Line has won here for Raul de Silva. He's won easily as well, this Monja filly. Done it really nice. It's tight for second. Granston and Choisin going past together. But Party Line has won, and how? She's bolted up.
Yeah, following up that win from last time out at Beverley, Party Line had Granston in second that day. Granston arguably looked a little bit unlucky not to get closer, having conceded first run to the winner that day, but form confirmed on worse terms. Granston in third. That was the key form line here. Leaders probably went hard enough. Those involved from in the finish coming from a fair way back off the pace. So certainly an even tempo at worst to that first handicap. Tapper Napper running on a little bit late. One or two that were quite close up didn't see the races out especially well. Grandiloquent, I thought, had every chance sat in mid-division, but just not quite good enough to defy his mark at the moment.
No, indeed. OK, let's go for the Sarenia Stakes at Kempton. The 4:10, 6 furlongs, 11 runners. Non-runner is number 6, Jubilee Brig. This is how they bet. Pearl Acclaim was trained by Richard Hannon. He's had 3 2-year-olds win already today, Richard Hannon. 1 at Haydock, 2 at Ascot, and he trains Pearl Acclaim, who's 4-1. 9-2, well acquainted. Shard 11-2. 7's Intibar, Adouj 7s. 10's Boom Shakalaka, Glass Office 11s. 14's the Asapop, Mr. Mark 14s, along with Faithfully, and Zanetto is 25s. Good little race this, Chris, and I know that the Hannon team have always thought quite a lot of Pearl Acclaim.
Yeah, and Pearl Acclaim just steadily going in the right direction as well. Got a nice draw in stall 3. Obviously the Gimcrack last time out was the highest he's flown so far. Excuse me. But he did manage to step up his form, if not manage to win again. he's back down at a more realistic level of competition, I suppose. Here he's down into Group 3 company. This should be a little bit more winnable so far as he's concerned. As I say, he's got a nice draw, and I wouldn't be that surprised if he did manage to get back on track. And as you mentioned, one of the key points, the form of the Han 2-year-olds, they continue to fire in the winners 3 already this afternoon.
Yeah, well, I think the point we should make about the Gimcrack, he finished 5th of 8, was that just came just 6 days after his win at Ripon. It may have come a bit quick. I mean, okay, and he was flying much better company against Blaine, etc., wasn't he? But
yeah, it might well have done. Would you fancy a Douge to uphold the form with him? I think that Pearl Acclaim might beat him, partly courtesy of the draw here.
I do as well.
I think a Douge, for all that he's progressing, I think stall 11 is potentially a real problem for him. There wasn't much between them, was there, in the Gimcrack at all. They finished in 4th and 5th, very closely matched on that. I think that Pearl Acclaim will manage to reverse those placings. Whether that's enough to win or not, I'm not sure. I thought Well Acquainted was going to go well here. The run at York for him last time out in one of those big, valuable sales races was a pretty good effort. He had Hototo in front of him, who'd won the Windsor Castle and been 3rd in a Malcolm. He had the Super Sprint winner, Body and Soul, in behind him, and those 3 pulled a length and a half clear of the rest of the field. I thought that was a good run from him. He's got a nice draw in stall 4, and I'm expecting him to go well, while I could see a Shard going pretty well as well. That one was behind Pearl Acclaim at Ripon, but again, he's just steadily taking step-by-step progress.
Yeah, no, I must admit, I quite like Well Acquainted because he was in the Hototo race, and that was the fastest 2-year-old race at the York meeting.
Was it?
Yeah, it was.
Your York times have served you well already, isn't it?
York speed figures have, yeah, they're good, weren't they? Because Gordon Lord Byron was the 2nd fastest speed figure at the whole of the York meeting behind Frankel.
And this was the fastest 2-year-old.
And he's finished 2nd in a Group 1, and Well Acquainted was in the race one.
Yeah, one
fastest run 2-year-old race.
But he was only beating Neck.
Yeah, so. Exactly. So I'd expect this Well Acquainted to run really well for John Fahey and Clive Cox. Not too many more. Here's Mark.
Shakalaka will complete the line. Boom Shakalaka about to move in. But Douge is just a little bit restless in stall number 11. That's it. Last one moves in. They're in the gate. They're off in the Betfred the Bonus King Cyrenia Stakes Group 3, and breaking the line first, the inside was Pearl Acclaim. Also on the outside, Zanetto is right up there, and so too Well Acquainted. These are the first 3. Sharda towards the inside of Mr. Mark as they go around the turn. At the back of the field early is Hasselpop, taken right back there off heels. Badly hampered was Boom Shakalaka as they leave the back straight behind them. Towards the inside, Pearl Acclaim. Around the outside, Zanetto. These are the first 2. The early pace is generous. Mr. Mark around the outside in 3rd, Well Acquainted in 4th. Sharda against the inside rail is in 5th. Faith Philly making the turn wide in 6th. Glass Office the Grey, followed then towards the inside by Intibar. Intibar is then being followed by Hasselpop. Hard driven is O'Douge, and at the back of the field, Boom Shakalaka. Inside the final quarter mile they go. Zanetto out in front, goes for the shock towards the inside. Pearl Acclaim, Well Acquainted down the outside. Glass Office now is making a storming charge. Glass Office and Jim Crowley surge the lead inside the final half furlong. Zanetto is now in 2nd. From the back of the pack is Hasselpop, but racing up towards the line, it is Glass Office who makes it 3 wins at Kempton, and Glass Office wins the Cyrenia. Tight 2nd between Zanetto on the inside of Well Acquainted, Hasselpop on the outside, and Pearl Acclaim was next.
They've gone a furious gallop now, I think, and Glass Office, who was held up out the back, has come and mown them down under Jim Crowley. It's been a good day for Jim. He won on Dandino earlier on.
Didn't win Archvillain.
No, he didn't win on Archvillain. But he's won on this, a horse who seems to love the poly track.
Yeah, he's been patient on this horse. 3 from 3 now here at Kempton. 3 from 3 on the all-weather all starts at this track. Forced to sit and suffer to an extent from stall 9, but they'd gone quite hard up front, and with that in mind I think Zanetto has done very well up with the speed, because it looked to be a contested early pace, and they looked to be going pretty sharp. You can see the winner coming out of stall 9, the grey, and Jim Crowley just drops him in, gets the lead. He's not exactly travelling along, indeed he's nudged along into the bridle through the first sort of 3/4 of a furlong just to be able to go with them, and then he latches onto the heels of them and he gets the perfect trip through. Really, he's close enough to the pace to make his move, but he's not doing too much in front like maybe one of the two of the others might be. The pace is kind of held up because Zanetto has finished second and Well Acquainted was right there. You often don't want to be too far back, in truth, at Kempton, do you?
Not really.
Even when they're going quite quick, you don't want to be too far out of your ground. But he's travelled very, very comfortably and he clearly loves this surface.
Yeah, just angled out. The eye was taken by Ashard and a Douge who travelled quite well down towards the inside. This horse he really picked up in good style when Jim Crowley asked him. He's just there, he's gone and picked up and he's got to Zanetto. Well Acquainted, who was always prominent, and he's done pretty well actually.
Yeah.
To finish third, he really hung on in there for a third place, bit of headway from Hassapop. I think it was possibly fourth, yes he was. And Pearl Acclaim, who went pretty hard early on, has flung on for fourth.
Yeah, I think that the best horse has won this though because he's travelled very comfortably. As I say, just had to be nudged along very slightly just to keep up with them early on, but that's perfectly normal. And then he's travelled very strongly and he's switched wide and he's run on well. Ashard looks like a horse who might want a little bit further. He's sort of weakened out of it, but he's been close